Aloha everyone, and welcome to Anatomy and Physiology 1 here at Chaminade University. This brief video will serve as an introduction to the course schedule for both the course itself and the lab, just so you kind of have an idea of what we will be going over and at what point in the semester. As you may be aware, President Babington has made the executive decision that we will be teaching online up until September 11th, and then we will be reevaluating. So that means that the first 3 weeks of classes, we're going to be doing this online. I will be providing you with video lectures, so you will not have to be present for a Zoom meeting at a particular time, but you will have to review those lectures in a timely fashion because we will be having exams according to this schedule here. So just to kind of orient you, I provided both the month, the week, I guess all three, the month, the week, and the day here that we would normally be going over these topics. So you can expect that I will have my video lectures posted by these dates. And then here on the right for the fall schedule, because everyone had labs on different dates, I just put week of, so this is just a Monday, so if you're a Tuesday lab, you'd be the 25th, a Wednesday lab would be the 26th, etc. But this is the topic for that week. You can see that they're going to correlate pretty closely, but they might not line up exactly identically depending on what day of the week you're doing your lab and whatnot. And just to let you know, that does mean that exam 1 we're going to expect you to be able to complete using this online learning platform. So all of these topics are going to have units in Canvas where you're going to be able to open them up. You'll have access to the PowerPoint presentation I'm going to present to you. You'll be able to follow along with that if you'd like, or you can just watch the video that I will be providing where I'll be going through that PowerPoint presentation. It's also going to correspond with your textbook, which is non-optional for this class. You're absolutely going to need a textbook, but you can use whichever textbook suits your needs as long as it covers the topic matters at hand. For our lab, we do have a specific textbook that you're going to have to use. You can see our Canvas shell for all of the information for that. And you'll just be filling in, it's a form fillable. You can get a form fillable PDF. You'll be filling in the information either electronically in the PDF or in the textbook itself. It's like a workbook. And then you'll be uploading that information in the lab shell to be able to show me that you're keeping up with the topics at hand. But I digress. So for the first exam, we're going to be covering an introduction. So it's going to be an overview of what we're going to tell you basically for all of this semester and next semester as well if you're going to stick with us for 152. So it's going to be an orientation of all of the different topics that we're going to cover for all of 151 and 152. Then we're going to start getting specific. So the next one is basic chemistry, talking about the organization of matter. And then we'll be going into cells. So each one of these will have their own video. They have their own lecture PowerPoint in a specific folder underneath the file section in your course. We will be having the exam 1 on the 8th. It will only be open for these specific days. In this manner, I can make sure that people aren't exchanging questions or sharing information about what's on the exam with other people who may not have taken it yet. It will be open for the entire day. Normally, I only open it for the class, but because of the online setup, I'll give it open for the entire 24 hours. But it will close after that, and you will have to come up with a pretty darn good reason if you weren't able to take it at that time, because I'm going to be talking about it later on as well. We also will have a review session that will be by Zoom. I'll probably have that here on the 3rd or somewhere along that week. We'll talk about it whenever it works for everyone, and that way people can ask questions for the material that they've gone over, since I know you won't be able to ask questions quote unquote in class because I'll be doing video lectures. Let's see, after we get through cells in exam 1, then we're going to be covering the topics tissues, skin, bone tissue, and that'll all be on exam 2. Then for exam 3, we'll expect you to go over the axial and appendicular skeleton and joints, which is actually a lot of information. It's very meaty. You'll see that's actually going to be the entirety of exam 2 for your lab exam as well. I tried really hard to make sure that we don't have lab exams and regular exams on the same week. The only exception for that is going to be this last exam. There's really not much in the way that I can do for it'll be exam 5 for the class and exam 3 for the lab. And then both classes are going to have a final that's going to be cumulative. Alright, so after exam 3, we're going to head into muscle tissue and the muscular system. We'll talk about nervous tissue, spinal cord and nerves, and then we'll have an exam on muscle and nervous tissue. And then last for exam 5, we'll be going over the brain and cranial nerves, sensory, motor, and integrative. We'll be all going over reflexes, etc. for that. So then again, the final will be cumulative. So this is going to be the tentative schedule and what we're going to be covering and when. And hopefully we will be resuming face-to-face classes as soon as we are. I will be certainly willing to meet with you guys in person. Other than that, all questions are going to have to go through either Zoom meetings if you need to speak with me, or email and text message, all of which can be found in the instructor information area in Canvas. Alright, well that serves as the orientation. I cannot wait to jump right into the material with you guys. Aloha!